Hey guys, I'm Paul Ludwig, Assistant Professor of English, your instructor in this class. Today, a research librarian and I are going to attempt to create a video that will help you create get your topic for the compare and contrast paper. Julie?
So I'm Julie. I am one of the librarians here at Walters State. So my job is to help you think about your research topics and then help you find appropriate sources for your essays and projects. So this video is going to show you how to think about your topic for your compare-contrast paper in your English 1020 class.
And that compare-contrast paper really ought to be called the compare and contrast problem solution paper. After all, the first step in doing this paper is to figure out what problem you want to address. If you haven't done that yet, you may want to pause the video right now and go look at the assignment sheet again to make sure that you understand the assignments. We're going to stop here for just a second and let you do that. Have you done it? Good.
So now that you're familiar with your 1010 assignment, Paul and I are going to model how you might go about choosing a topic, and Paul is going to play the role of the student, and I, of course, am going to be the librarian. So, Paul, you said you wanted to write about the problem of the dress code.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes that a problem?
Well, I think the dress code can be considered sexist.
So do you mean sexist towards women or sexist towards men?
I think it's both, but I would like to focus on why the dress code is sexist toward women.
Okay, so let's also think about that in an opposite way. Like, how is it sexist towards men?
Well, it seems like boys get dress coded far less than girls do.
Okay, so why is that?
Maybe boys aren't expected to dress a certain way in order to distract girls. Oh, yeah, so girls are expected to dress a certain way not to distract boys, but that suggests boys are too stupid or maybe not capable of controlling themselves enough. And that's certainly sexist toward men, and especially boys.
So, in what other ways could the dress code be a problem? Have you considered other groups, such as how the dress code may cause problems for students in poverty or discriminate against certain cultures?
Well, there are some other ways that it could be discriminatory. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so after you think about all of those things, which one do you think that you'll focus on?
I think I still want to focus on the discrimination against boys and girls.
Okay, so now you've worked through that problem. What are going to be your solutions to the problem of dress code?
Maybe a more inclusive dress code that isn't just targeting toward a specific gender or a group of people. Maybe a dress code that has a lot more student input. That might be one solution. Another solution would be school uniforms. Everybody has to wear the exact same uniform to school.
Okay, so I can definitely see where there's research on both of those solutions. You said that one of the problems of a dress code was that it might discriminate against different groups of people, both males and females, those in poverty, minority groups. How would a uniform avoid all of that?
I guess people would be dressed the same way, so there's not a brand name thing. I can see how it might be difficult for poor students to afford a uniform, which would certainly be discrimination against students in poverty. I can also see how it might be a problem if we start making boys wear ties and girls wear skirts. It could just further stereotypes and be a bit unfair in choices of what to wear.
So, could you think of a second solution then that might not be as similar to the problem? Because uniform could just be a type of dress code. So it's really, that solution is actually kind of leaning more towards becoming a problem itself.
It's the heart of the problem, right. Okay, so maybe a second solution might be training teachers and principals on enforcing dress code without bias. Making sure enforcement of dress code doesn't single out a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there could be more teacher awareness of their own bias, like teaching the teachers about their own bias toward girls and boys, making sure that they're being fair when they enforce dress code. Fairness of enforcement.
Well, that sounds like a legitimate solution to the issue. So we could probably locate some information in our databases about that as well.
Okay. I was also thinking of exploring research on another topic before really choosing one to write about. I'd like to have two topics in case one doesn't pan out.
So, that's a great idea. Sometimes we get into research, we find that, one, there isn't much about our topic available. Maybe it's no longer a problem in society. Another issue is that the problem or solutions are not what we initially envisioned as far as a paper. Perhaps we thought a solution to a problem was foolproof, and then when we look at the data, we get a whole different picture.
I was thinking about writing my paper on the cost of education.
Now that's an interesting topic since it's so expensive. So are you talking about public education or higher education?
Oh, definitely higher education. College, right?
Yeah, so college is expensive for sure. What aspect of the cost are you considering?
All of it. Tuition, rent, books, dorm costs, food costs, gas money, all of it.
So that's a very, very large topic. You could write hundreds of pages on that. So let's narrow it down a bit so we're focusing on one aspect of college cost. What do you think is the most expensive part of college for students like you?
It's got to be tuition for students. That's the most expensive thing, right?
Yes, but in Tennessee, we have Tennessee Promise, so tuition is not really as much of a problem, especially for the first 2 years of college. Could you think of another aspect, since that's not technically a problem for Tennessee students?
Yes, I'm always hungry. So food costs are always on my brain, like how much it costs to be able to go to college when you have to eat out all the time.
So in thinking about food costs, how is that different for college students than non-college students?
I guess I was thinking about the fact that college students have to live on a budget, and they spend all their money on textbooks, hundreds of dollars on textbooks, like ridiculous amounts of money on textbooks, and they don't have any money left over to buy food on a regular basis.
So when you're talking about the idea of cash flow then, it's not because they don't have money for food. You have money for food, but you're spending it all on textbooks.
Yes, exactly.
Then the real problem might not be the cost of food, but rather the cost of textbooks.
Oh, okay. So the problem is now narrowed down to the cost of textbooks.
Yes. So we can do a search on the cost of textbooks and see really how deep that problem goes. From there, we could look at some solutions and see what the databases may kind of direct us towards.
I just don't know what my solutions would be. Maybe teach classes without textbooks?
Those could be possible. Why don't we kind of see what the databases have? So, a lot of students want to start with Google, and you could absolutely do that. However, Google can have some questionable information, and actually we have a perfect database for students here at the library that can help you explore controversial topics and topics that could be considered, problems. So if you want to go with me, I will tell you to pause and tell you which direction to go on our library website and kind of guide you to this database so that you can go ahead and look with us. So the first thing that you're going to start off at is our library homepage, and that is library.ws.edu. So go ahead and get there.
Again, that's library.ws.edu. Go ahead and get there. You should see a page that looks very similar to this one when you do.
And the next step is on the left-hand side of your screen. There's going to be, under Quick Links, the very first link is A to Z database list. So you're going to click on A to Z database list. Now, if you are on campus, it will take you directly to a list of 99 databases, but most of you probably are not on campus. So you're going to have to enter your eLearn ID and password. So go ahead and do that to get access. If at any point you have trouble getting into our databases, you can send me a message on your class list, and I have a backdoor entrance that you can get into our databases. You can also call the library at 423-585-6903 and tell them you're having problems getting into the databases.
Or you can shoot me an email at paul.ludwig@ws.edu, and I can probably help you as well. Although Julie's much better at it than I am.
So you have lots of options. So if you can't get in there, shout out to one of us. So now that you're in the databases, you are going to go to opposing viewpoints in context. So you can click on all subjects up here at the very top on the left-hand side. If you drop that down, you will see all of the disciplines that we have. And you want to click on English. And there should be 15 databases around in there. So it'll say databases found for English. So you're going to scroll all the way down to opposing viewpoints. Okay, and you'll click into that link.
Or you could just click on the 0, the O in the alphabetical list, but whatever.
You can go either way. So once you are in opposing viewpoints, you don't have to take any surveys. Once you're in opposing viewpoints, we are going to kind of look at the database in general to help you find a topic. If you do not know your topic, you have no clue, you can go scroll down a little bit and click Browse Issues, and you will see that there are large topics: health and medicine, science, technology, and ethics. You can click into those and you will see lists of possible problems in society and local governments. And so you can browse through those issues and find something. But for our topic, we were looking at textbooks and their cost. So you can also do a general search at the very top. So I'm going to type in textbooks and costs. Okay, just a basic search on our two concepts that we're looking for information on. So I'm going to hit enter. So once I've hit enter, I found all kinds of information. I can kind of scroll through those titles, and I'm looking for those titles to see if there's some ideas that maybe some solutions that I didn't consider, some solutions, some information on solutions that maybe I had thought about. So I see titles such as financial issues experienced by students in private higher education institutions. Okay, another one is classes without textbooks. More colleges are giving it a try. So these are some titles I'm seeing. Colleges should mandate all textbooks be digitized. So I can look through these articles, especially the more general ones, to get an idea of the problem and to help me brainstorm some solutions.
You may want to watch this video again and pause in order to keep up with everything that Julie and I have done, because it does take a little time. In fact, is this going to take a long time, Julie?
Well, you're going to spend, research is not linear. So it means that you don't have a question, you type in, a search term, and boom, you find the answer in the first article. So you often find something that leads you to research that topic at a deeper level, or it might take you in a completely different direction. It's more of a cycle than a checklist. So the research cycle does not have to take a long time, but you want to make sure that you don't miss some really good research because you only spent 5 minutes in a database. So you click the first article. There are also other, several databases that you can look in.
You said that I should click the first article?
No. You're not going to want to click. You can click into the first article, but you don't want to just say, hey, that first article looks good to me, and I'm just going to use that as my source. You want to read through the article, obviously see if it is a valid solution. Just because an article discusses a topic that's relevant does not mean that it may be a reasonable solution in your eyes, right? Because you're the person writing the paper. You might have different ideas, and you may want to, go into that research process and see if some of your other ideas are represented in the research, and also maybe get some new ideas from the research that's presented in the databases.
Okay, so good. So once I'm in a database and I look through and I find articles, I don't necessarily want to jump on the first article that I find that's somewhat relevant. I may want to look for it, spend some time looking. Mm-hmm. It does take a little longer than just doing a simple Google search, and I really want to go through several articles. Are there other places where I can look for information?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, as you saw, we have lots of databases. We have almost 100 databases in our entire database collection, and so the next video that I'm going to make to show you all is how to go into databases and how to search all the other databases rather than just opposing viewpoints. This is a great place to start, but some of our other databases can give you peer-reviewed journal articles, they can give you magazine articles, trade journals, lots of things that are more specific to your topic rather than a general approach to a topic such as the one that we were talking about.
Okay, fantastic. So just to sum up with you all, your goal after watching this video is to make sure that you have a problem with 2 solutions and that you've at least familiarized yourself with library.ws.edu and being able to access and find the databases. Julie's later video is going to go more in depth into that, so you can watch that a little later on. Right now, if you have any questions about your topic, about having access to the databases, be sure to email us or give us a call.